Spring is here, finally. The spring we've all been waiting for. Colors shouting in your ears, orange blossoms and lemons showing off. And look what we've left behind. Oh, sorry, you can't walk on the water anymore. And why? Because it's spring, glorious spring. Take off your sweater now, put it right back on, because even here in Southern California, spring keeps changing its mind. And although your thoughts may be cheery, the Pacific still interrupts them from time to time. But fickle spring relented today, and there's a sucker born every moment, don't you think? Because here I am, sprouting like a crocus. You know, when I tack out of a harbor, even when the wind is light like this, I just roll out a 90% jib. It's just easier than dragging that big Genoa around the mast every time. And if you have folks on board, they see how easy everything is and how effortless sailing is. Ain't spring nice? Look at those pretty clouds. You know, spring takes credit for everything. Youth, vigor, daffodils. Nobody ever said, put some winter in your stride. But I wonder, because spring's a faker. See those cirrus clouds? It'll blow 30 knots tomorrow, and that's a fact. Spring, you're full of yourself. You don't hold still. You're often late, and then you breeze right in. I think the coldest and wettest I've ever been was in spring. Oh, and don't make plans. Spring's just waiting for that. Here's some sleet. Los Angeles usually has very well-behaved weather. Usually, in fact, it doesn't have any weather at all. Well, it looks like spring. Well, that's because it is spring, which means it's going to blow 40 one day and 0 the next. And when it gets tired of that, it puts on June gloom around here, and then May gray, and you don't see a shadow till June. My friends in the East haven't even launched their boats yet. And whose fault is that? Spring. The Chesapeake is sailing a month before New York, while Maine waits, stomping its feet. Spring ain't fair. It plays favorites. It changes its mind. Why does spring always behave like it just ate a whole ginger root? Pretty immature, if you ask me. Say, do you know that this course, if we held it for a few months, would take us to the South Seas? Well, all right, I flew to Rarotonga in the Cook Islands, where they told me, "Sir, the month you make reference to, April, is autumn here." So October is spring? That can't possibly be right. The harbor at Rarotonga is very small and pretty. And if your dream is to sail there whilst going round the world, here's the single anchorage for the single sailboat it accommodates. And if you like banging around while moored, okay. They don't really have seasons 20 degrees south of the equator, but what they do have is the happiest dogs I've ever seen in the world. Beach dogs. My dog at home lies on the couch with the television remote control in its paw. This is what these dogs do all day. I like a dog who waits while I catch up. A three-legged dog. Maybe three-legged dogs are the best dogs of all. Well, a few martinis got me through my seasonal adjustment to the Antipodes. Then it was back to spring in Los Angeles. Look at that sky, 30 knots tomorrow, I'm telling you. Spring has a big head. Spring invented literature, don't you know? Lilacs out of the dead land, the force that through the green fuse drives the flower, even in Middle English. Wander opera with the shower suta, the druth of March hath perised to the ruta, and bathed every vein in switch liqueur, of which virtue engendered is the fleur. Yes, yes, yes. To hear spring tell it, everlasting life too, you know, the vegetable myth, the resurrection, the feasts of Easter, even the invention of agriculture 10,000 years ago in the Fertile Crescent. And what time of year was that? Spring. I like spring. Just don't get your hopes up. Summer is much more reliable. Fall is for reflection, not working up a sweat. And winter lets you sit down and work and plan and hope. For what? Well, for spring. Spring is the most intemperate season, the most provocative, the most outlandish, the most downright perverse, the most mocking and unrepentant, introducing itself with a hatch of mayflies in the garden and termites in the house, while all the time hopping up and down like a 5-year-old on his birthday. 99% of all persons who went sailing once and never again went sailing that once in April, freezing in their clothes while the captain took them to windward in 48 degrees and short chop all the time, declaring that spring is here. Spring is untrustworthy. Spring is glorious. Spring is everything starting all over again. All promises, all fizz, the whiz kid of the calendar. It's here and it's now. But by July, it will be all tuckered out. Yo, spring. You won't hear a word from spring then. Just the buzzing of bees and the waves settling down, and a warm wind on your back. Spring is the promises. It's up to us to keep them. Engine off.